Ed, this is the British tank A9. What is design-wise wrong about this tank?
Quite a lot of features, really. But some of the main features are you've got a nasty sort of case of shell trapping here. So you've got this face-hardened armour, and while you do have some ribbing on the front, if anything hits here and does ricochet up, it's either going into one of these little turrets, into somebody's face, or it's going into the driver's face here. And while it might not go through this second layer of armour, it's certainly going to send a load of spooling to him.
What's spooling?
Spooling is where you've got a round that hits the armour, a shockwave goes through it, and the softer inner armour on the inside breaks off into small shards of splinters and ricochets around.
Are rivets good things on armour?
Rivets are there for a purpose. One of the things that people need to understand about early British armour is that it uses a type of face-hardened armour. To do that, you have to take your original soft piece of armour, you have to drill your holes into it first, you then heat it into things called like bone charcoal, which gives it a very strong outer surface. So against conventional AP shot, it's particularly strong. However, you cannot drill the holes in after it's been hardened, the metal will break, nor can you weld it. It won't accept welding. So in order to have riveted armour, you then need a softer inner steel skeleton to build it on, like an endoskeleton and exoskeleton around the outside of it. Riveting itself, there's been all these sort of tales about every time it gets hit, the rivets will fly off and do that. You actually have to hit a piece of riveted armour incredibly hard with a fairly big round, like 75mm and so on, to cause the rivets to do that. So we now think it happened occasionally, and the myth spread. As we were looking at the French tanks, one of the things that's more effective than AP on this particular type of armour is armour-piercing capped rounds, which have a softer cap. Those rounds are actually particularly effective against this face-hardened armour, but less effective against cast armour, something the French knew, which is why they continued using cast armour. As this armour gets thicker, the size of the bolts becomes increasingly non-linear in size. So you end up with doing ballistic bolts, like you see on Cromwell, where you've still got a softer endoskeleton and quite thick outside armour. But to get much thicker than that, the bolt would just get so big it makes it redundant.
Thank you.